Salutations from space and aloha from Earth, friends. Isabel came to say hello. Actually, she said, dude, stop that and take me for a walk. That's happening next, I assure you. I wanted to talk to you about Howling with this out of bounds Gemini moon. As soon as the moon came into the tropical sign of Gemini, she had a quick square with Saturn. And Saturn's in a pretty sensitive state of his particular jam right now because Saturn's about to station retrograde. So Saturn, who might love slow, is maybe loving this opportunity to just stop and stay put at that first degree of Pisces. And I was hoping to speak about that some on Saturn's Day, but I was doing it instead. So here we are on Monday, Moon Day, the day of the moon. And I don't have much time because Isabel's insistent. And righteously so, rightfully so. And so I think she and I get to do a little bit of an experiment with her right now, right? Because when the moon is out of bounds, I typically will find that Isabel wants to go into neighbors' lawns and whatnot when we're walking by, or when we're in the forest, to go into unexplored spaces. And I'm really excited to go see if that's true today, because friends, the moon is out of bounds. Now, what does this mean technically to the let's talk about the zodiac, the astronomy, the very, very real astronomy of the tropical zodiac. Please run away from the folks who will tell you that the tropical signs are irrelevant because they do not align with constellations. The tropical astronomy is so much deeper than star-based astronomy is. I love stars, I love constellations, but the tropical signs have Antisha and straight and crooked signs and on and on and on. There's so much to the directional zodiac, which is what the tropical zodiac is. So here in this armillary sphere, I just want to talk about two of these wonderful circles. One is Earth's equator, all right, which is the plane of our daily motion, our rotation, which is called the primary motion. The other is the ecliptic, which is the plane of our secondary motion, our annual motion, our orbital motion about the sun, right? That these two are not the same is why we have seasons. And by the way, why we have signs, which are not seasonal, but they come from the same thing, which is the directions. Anyway, the ecliptic, and which is Earth's plane of our orbit, or from Earth's point of view, the plane of the sun's orbit about us, right? Let me just say it this way, the plane of the Earth-Sun relationship, which for me, that means matter and spirit. The ecliptic moves through Earth's tropics. Okay, so I'm actually going to talk about two more of these circles on the armillary sphere. This is the Tropic of Cancer. This is the Tropic of Capricorn, all right? And if the Tropic of Cancer sounds kind of like tropical Cancer, and the Tropic of Capricorn sounds kind of like the Tropic of Capricorn and tropical Capricorn, you're on to something. Named for the Greek tropikos, which means turnaround. All right, so the ecliptic, the plane of the Earth-Sun relationship, the plane of our year, it moves through always the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. Those are the southern and northern extremes of the zodiac, all right? Why am I sharing all this now? Because the moon is currently out of bounds, all right? Which means with the moon now in Gemini and moving into Cancer here in a few days, the moon is out of bounds north. The moon is literally shining above places on Earth that are north of the Tropic of Cancer. That's where the sun in his yearly journey stops and turns around to go south. All right, look at the Cancer glyph. Do you see the sun moving 6 months north and 6 months south, stopping and turning around in between? The zodiac does this every day. And the bounds of the zodiac, the northern bounds, the Tropic of Cancer, the southern bounds, the Tropic of Capricorn. So at particular times of the nodal cycle, Earth's experience of the intersections of moon and sun are the lunar nodes, right? And the nodes retrograde their way around the zodiac in 18.6 years, all right? So you'll live for a few of those, we hope. Especially when the north node of the moon gets to 0 degrees Aries, and I mean tropical Aries. Here's another great support for the astronomy of the tropical zodiac. When the moon's north node gets to 0 degrees tropical Aries, we are in what are called lunar standstill times. And that is when the moon goes most out of bounds. All right, but it's already happening with moon at these extreme out of bounds places. And so for the next years, when the moon, especially in Gemini and Cancer, will be out of bounds north, literally further north than the Tropic of Cancer, and when in Sagittarius and Capricorn on the other side of the cycle, will be further south than the Tropic of Capricorn. Seer asks here, will planets only ever be out of bounds when they are in Gemini, Cancer, Sag, and Cap? No, but they will most likely be out of bounds in those solstice signs, right? Sagittarius is as much a solstice sign as Capricorn is. Gemini as much as a solstice sign as Cancer is. The solstice points, which are where the axis of Earth point to in space, they are the cusps of Gemini and Cancer at the north point, and of Sagittarius and Capricorn at the south point. So when planets are at those northern and southern extremes of the zodiac, it's more likely for them to cross into spaces where the sun could never even dream to go. And that's what out of bounds is. So it's a really great question, and something that's often taught is planets can only be out of bounds in those signs. It's a decent kind of general rule, but it's a rule that is broken, including by the moon, who can be out of bounds also in Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio and Aquarius in the fixed signs. Pluto goes out of bounds only in Leo and Aquarius. Let me leave that there for now and get to, well, what should we do about this besides go out and walk the dog right now? If you go out and walk the dog, maybe try a new path. Maybe see if the dog's trying a new path. Let's howl with the out of bounds Gemini moon. And interesting, at this time where moon came into Gemini and just quickly squared Saturn, who talks about rules a lot, staying in bounds and such, maybe even in Pisces. Oh, I feel like, what are the rules of the dream world, asks Saturn in Pisces. Anyway, moon will have no other aspect until, from a traditional astrology point of view, until she squares Venus on November 1st. Kaylee, how sweet to see your name here on the YouTube side of things, and you saying y'all lovingly tap that like button. That's really nice of you, Kaylee. Something I always forget to say. Please like, share, subscribe, all the things. Anyway, I'm also doing this on Instagram. If you've wondered why lately it's doing this in my lives, it's because I'm looking at 2 different cameras. Anyway, yeah, the moon just feels very free right now to Gemini, and to Gemini in a way that is like according to her own dreams, and to go to places that like even the sun cannot. Right? For me, I really want to work with kind of like the literal astronomy of the thing, and then try to understand what that invites in us through correspondences. And I love out of bounds as a term. I mean, like it's physically describing this thing, or as I was just saying, they're going north of the Tropic of Cancer or south of the Tropic of Capricorn. But I also love it energetically. It's like freak out, like do something different, like color outside of the lines. I mean, anyone who's listening to this live still, like you do it, right? You like astrology. Shauna, I'm seeing here that you were born with the moon totally out of bounds, a declination of 27 degrees and 40 minutes. Yeah, my assumption is that your north node is either early Aries or late Pisces tropical in your chart. Um, because that's when the moon goes most out of bounds, and we are in this period moving towards these most out of bound moons times. And it's, you don't have to wait until the node gets to 0 Aries, tropical Aries, like it's happening now. So things, by the way, where if you want to like see this and experience this with your eyeballs, my friends, yes, Selena, thank you for that reminder. My hair is very out of bounds, yeah, and I'm always mind blown, so why not just show it? The moon here out of bounds north will rise further north on the eastern horizon than sun ever can. The moon out of bounds north will set further north on the western horizon than sun ever can. Okay, and in the northern hemisphere sky, the out of bounds north moon climbs to a greater height than sun does at summer solstice time. All right, so for those of you in the northern hemisphere, get outside and see moon tonight, and she'll be like, depending where on earth you are, like if you're in Miami, the moon's going to be right above your head and the sun can't. Okay, like really dig that. If you're in the southern hemisphere, the north out of bound moons, that's Gemini and Cancer most, is extremely low in your sky. Okay, and so just like get out and dig that, receive that physically, but also do something crazy out of bounds. Maybe a crazy hair day. Like again, coloring outside the lines, you know, have you been afraid to share that weird part of yourself? Have you been resisting a thing that you know you're meant to do because you feel you're not ready or something like this? Is it time for you to run to the streets and say, I like astrology and it's okay, you know, whatever? Like, it's a really wonderful time, especially Gemini, right? And like our learning and our sharing and our communicating, to use that kind of general nature of that sign. Like, so it'd be a really wonderful time to make that phone call, to make that YouTube video, whatever, right? And to share with us that medicine that you have received in your journey to the weird world, and to make that commitment to go to that weird place again and again and again, and to bring some of that magic back to the muggles. Well, thank you, magicians, for receiving some of my muggle magic here. It's really fun to have the opportunity to share. I appreciate the present of your presence, and I hope I get to unwrap some really weird thing that you create for us during the time of this out of bounds north moon, which will carry, by the way, through today, October 30th. We will have an incredibly out of bounds and super high, at least northern hemisphere sky, Halloween moon tomorrow in Gemini. It's like definitely trickster stuff here. Moon will stay quite out of bounds north of the Tropic of Cancer. She moves through the sign of Cancer. And here, by the way, is an example, I believe, in this particular journey where when Moon ingresses Leo, yeah, she will remain out of bounds. So north of the Tropic of Cancer, even in the sign of Leo this month. So see her to return or retrograde back to that question you asked, do planets only go out of bounds in Gemini, Cancer, and Sagittarius? Capricorn, the answer is no, and the moon is about to prove it to you. So if you know where the sun's solstice extremes are at rise and rest in the east and the west, go watch the moon break those fucking rules. And regardless, you know, watch for the super high and super low moons that are happening every month at this time as we are approaching the lunar standstill, and let that encourage you to break some of those rules that just shouldn't be anymore. They've served their purpose. They got you here. Now it's time to break out, friends. See you on the other side.